It's a good start for the Indian markets as global equities rally overnight. Key indices though move off opening highs in volatile trade, but most sectors are still in the green, led by metals. Banks rally too, and the mid-caps, they outperform.
Hindalco is the top gainer on the Nifty 50 as the dollar index cools off. Tata Steel as well bounces back in trade.
Crude surges back to near $90 per barrel mark, and as a result of which, stocks of upstream oil companies like ONGC and Oil India rally.
Brokerage house Morgan Stanley double upgrades Tata Chemicals from underweight to overweight, raises its target price to over 1,300 rupees a share, also picks SRF as its top pick in the specialty chemical space.
We do have a lot of other stocks in focus as well. Godrej Consumer higher after giving a bullish outlook for their Africa business. Nykaa says that their board will consider a bonus issue on the 3rd of October, while Blue Dart rallies after announcing a near 10% hike effective from the 1st of January.
Hello and welcome to Chartbusters. Well, the market started off in the green. We've come off the high point of the day as we speak. So that 200 DMA has now become a bit of a hurdle. That comes in at around 16,990 odd mark. By the way, keep an eye out on Lupin. You know, there's some news coming in on their Tarapur facility. And on the back of that, the stock has moved a little bit lower in the past few minutes. So to give you a few details, just take a look at that. Stock has pulled back sharply, actually. They've got a warning letter from the FDA for their Tarapur facility. And I think a couple of alerts as well should come up for you because that facility was inspected a few months or so ago. So that's the stock in focus. We'll get Ekta shortly with us to run us through a few details on that front. It's back for us. They've got that warning letter. And I think the alert as well will be flashing for you on the screen rather soon. Yeah, Mangala.
Yeah, the inspection was between March 22nd and April 4th. So it was March and April where the US FDA went ahead and inspected their Tarapur unit. And now that they've got a warning letter, it would be an important, impediment for the company to grow from this unit in particular. We need to know the details of the kind of products that they sold from this unit and what's been lined up, etc. We'll get Ekta for that. But for now, in an otherwise strong day for all the other pharmaceutical stocks, Lupin is the one that stands down with a cut of almost 2%. Let's also get in Sachidanand Tekar for a quick technical check on the market. Sachi, we did see the Nifty open well, but it's come off the high. So, it provided perfect place for bears to go ahead and short at a gap up. Do you think we are looking at any sort of support in the near term, or do we go down into the red because it's expiry day? There is a fair amount of volatility expected.
Good morning, Mangalam. Good morning, Nigel. I think it's a classic option writing day. In fact, the kind of up move that we have seen, Nifty has a certain resistance at 17,050, 17,080 kind of a zone where its 5-day exponential moving average is still trending. And on the lower side, 16,880 is this very strong support zone wherein its 200-day exponential moving average was placed. So yesterday we saw an inverse hammer formation after 5 days of decline, which is again a positive sign. I think that positive effect was evident in today morning gap up. But I think this particular range could hold on. I think 17,050 would be an ideal level wherein some profits should be booked. And on the lower side, I think redeployment of longs should be considered once Nifty starts trending near to 16,900 marks. So I think it will be a classic option writers day today. We may see Nifty, oscillating within this particular range of 17,050, 60 on the higher side, and on the lower side, 16,900, 880 could be a dependable support. So we don't see any immediate trade setup when it comes to Nifty. When we look at Bank Nifty, I think it is very evident that 38,200 is the resistance in the first half. Unless we don't see that particular resistance getting breached, we may not see Bank Nifty scaling towards 38,500. Probably a decline towards 37,800 would be a good idea wherein some longs could be committed. So right now there's no trade on Nifty as well as Bank Nifty. I think we need to be more stock specific throughout the day. So it's a wait and watch when it comes to indices.
Okay, all right. What about individual stocks, Sachi? What are your recommendations?
Nigel, two stocks on our radar. First is Titan on the sell side. If you look at the structure, after 4 weeks of consolidation, we are seeing a bearish engulfing formation on the weekly scale. it has breached below the 2600 key support level, which was holding throughout this particular series. If you look at the 5 and 20 crossover on its daily scale, the moving averages have tilted down. So probably we may see this particular bearish trend continue in the next few weeks as well. So we are expecting a level close to around 2480 to be seen on Titan. So recommendation is to go short in the October series, keep a stop loss at 2610. And on the long side, Divi's Lab, the structure has been very strong. Despite of the weakness in the market, this particular stock was scaling higher. On the daily scale, we have seen a classic breakout from a rounding bottom formation, which is indicating a pattern target of around 3820. Long positions should be deployed in Divi's Lab. The stop loss should be placed at 3710.
All right, take that point. Sachi, just one word on PVR if you can, because you know, the stock was upwards of 1900 just a month ago. Then the Brahmastra movie released. Everyone thought that maybe it's not doing too well. Then there were some collections coming in. Now the view is that maybe Vikram Vedha, that releases tomorrow, could actually get more people to the theaters than expected. And as a result of which, we are seeing a big move on that stock. It's actually, in today's move, turned positive for the week as well. Do you think it's just a bounce of that 1650, 1600 lows, or is it going to cross the previous 1900 levels from here?
Mangalam, I think there are a lot of movies which are lined up in this particular month itself, and I think the correction is again an opportunity in this particular secular bull trend wherein it has been oscillating. So immediate basis, what we have observed here is that on the monthly scale, it has managed to take support near its 20-month exponential moving average, and that too with a weekly closing which can be established as a bullish hammer. If you look at today's price action, clearly, the immediate hurdle is the 200-day exponential moving average, which is placed somewhere close to 1760. I think once this particular level is parred, I think probably we may see a big turnaround in this particular counter as well. So I think it's a multiple support area, and the price has reacted well. So in case if someone is willing to take some long positions here, I think it's an ideal situation. The stop loss should be placed at around 1680 on a closing basis, and on the higher side, we may expect a swing back towards 1900.
Take that point, Sachi. But Nigel, Vikram Vedha is a movie which has Saif Ali Khan as well as Hrithik Roshan. Would you be interested in watching it?
Mangalam, today is my son's birthday, so he's the hero for me.
Okay.
I'm pretty happy to
wish him a very happy birthday. But those down south as well, they're also excited about the release of Ponniyin Selvan 1, PS1 that is. So maybe that is another thing which is aiding.
Looks like you're off to the movies.
I'm off to the movies, but also more interested in the music, because Ponniyin Selvan 1 has A.R. Rahman's music. So I was just listening to that. Understood nothing, but great music.
All right, for the timing, let's get back to the markets and let's shift focus to our special segment. We get a few ideas for profit, remember, from Money Control Pro. Jitendra Gupta joins in to tell us the stock that he's tracking closely. Jitendra.
I'm going to talk about Engineers India, which corrected recently from the levels of around 72 a share to currently around rupees 63 rupees a share. I think considering the valuation and growth visibility, stock offers good value. Engineers India with annual revenue of rupees 2,870 crore is valued at rupees 3,700 crore. Adjusting for the cash in the books to the tune of rupees 1,200 crore and its investment in other ventures, the enterprise value works out to be rupees 1,300 crore, which is quite good. Even on a price to earning basis at 9 times its fiscal 24 estimated earnings and close to 5% dividend yield, stock offers very good bargain. In terms of business, during June quarter, revenue grew at 9.2% on a year-on-year basis, while it is low. The reason possibly is again its dependence on hydrocarbon space. However, notable point is that during last 3 preceding quarters, I mean the quarters before June, it had negative growth in revenue, and from that perspective, reporting even a marginal growth is good sign. The other notable point is that growth has come from the turnkey business, which was up almost 23% on a year-on-year basis. Overall, I would say stock offers a very good value at current market price.
All right, Jitendra, thanks a lot for stopping by and giving us your call on that stock. With that, we take a short break, come back on the other side. Godrej Properties, that's the one in focus after the companies acquired a 7-acre land parcel in Bengaluru. The management joins us on the other side of the break to tell us more. Well, the Nifty is holding up with some gains. The pharmaceutical stocks are doing well. Sun Pharma is at the top of the table right now, with Divi's Lab at the high point as well. It's interesting. If you just pull up the pharmaceutical index, that's at the high point of trade. As we speak, it's, sitting with a gain of almost, 1.5%. And in that, the underperformer is Lupin, and that's primarily on account of the warning letter that came in for their Tarapur unit. So Lupin is an underperformer in an otherwise good-looking screen, especially for the pharmaceutical sector. But moving away into the FMCG space, Godrej Consumer is the stock in focus, and it's doing well. And the reason why it's doing well, Nigel, is because yesterday it held a conference call specifically for its Africa business, and it spoke about how the Africa business, which has grown in double digits for the last 8 quarters, will continue to grow, and that's primarily because they will now broaden the portfolio of products that they have, and that will bring the next leg of growth for Africa. They were targeting margins earlier in high teens, but now their aspiration is 15 to 17%, primarily because raw material prices are cooling down as well. But if you adjust for the currency, the margins are actually higher by almost 600 to 700 basis points. Importantly, the brokerages like what the management has said. So the Jefferies analyst has a buy rating with a target price of 1,040. We have Credit Suisse as well as Morgan Stanley, all of them having positive stances on the stock with a price target anywhere between 975 to 1100 odd rupees. But importantly, for the overall consolidated business, the India business in particular, the second half of this year will be extremely important because one, we have palm oil prices which are at a near 52-week low, so that's good for them. And secondly, we have festive demand, and 60% of India's consumption happens in the second half of this year. And that's why towards the end of the first half, you see all these FMCG stocks rally because you have a sense of how the monsoon has behaved, etc. as well. What are the key 2 things to watch out for? How they improve in Indonesia from here on, and the household insecticides portfolio, which has been rather volatile and weak over the last few quarters, and which is why perhaps the stock also trades at a discount to the sector at 37 times. But if it does well, it has valuation support, perhaps will do even better. That's why the stock is up almost 2.7%.
All right, let's stick to the Godrej Group. Then Godrej Properties, they acquired a 7-acre land parcel in Bengaluru. That has a potential of around 0.6 million square feet. To understand more about the project, well, we're joined by Mohit Malhotra, the MD and CEO of the company. Hi, Mohit. Thanks so much for joining in. Could you give us a couple of details? What's the total investment you're going to be making for this? Point number 1. When do you start construction of this? And back of an envelope calculation suggests that maybe, this project will be in the vicinity of around 12,500 rupees per square foot. If you could fill us in with those details.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. It's an exciting project in the heart of the city, so very excited about it. It's a low-rise development. It's going to be a ground plus 4 structure, so would be a very fast turnaround of the project. Typically, these kind of projects one finishes within 2 years of starting construction. So that's the horizon for the project. In terms of investment, the total investment in this project, the project cost is around 400 crores. And in terms of sales price, I think, anything around 11,000-12,000 is where we should be launching this.
All right.
We'll decide to the launch date.
11 to 12,000 per square feet is the back of the envelope calculation. You're saying that you will be investing 400 crores in this. How long will the project take to be ready? When will the construction start?
See, the construction would start, typically it takes a year to get approval. So, within a year we should launch and start construction. And as I said, it will be a fast turnaround given it's a low-rise development. So within 2 years post that, we should be completing the project.
So 3 years from now, you will have the project ready.
Absolutely.
And what about this year itself? You had, given us a guidance of 10,000 crores in terms of revenues. And if you could give us a geographic breakup of where these 10,000 crores will come from, because Bangalore is the smallest geography that you have right now. Are you looking to, get more out of them, that place?
Yeah, we are on track to, achieve our guidance on 10,000 crores. We had phenomenal Q2. And we had some very, very strong launches across cities. We had a very, very strong launch in Bangalore itself, in the Whitefield area. And that's, giving us confidence to add more projects across cities, including Bangalore, where we feel our presence should be amplified a lot more. So overall, 10,000 crore is, something we are very, very positively targeting.
Okay. All right. Mohit, just to move a little bit away from this Bengaluru project, I want to talk about Vikhroli. Every time I pass by, there's a beautiful construction out there. I visited a few friends as well. So good on you. But I wanted to understand a few details out there. Since you're going to Bengaluru and other parts, what is the total Vikhroli land that you have? If you could give us a rough number out there. And how much of that is unutilized as of now?
Yeah, it's a very large, land parcel. We have a agreement with Godrej and Boyce to develop the whole parcel. Now, of course, in terms of how much land can get developed, the moment we get approvals for the land, it comes for development for us. So we are also eagerly awaiting.
So what is it, Mohit? It's around 3,000 acres?
Yeah, it's a pretty large number, in that range.
And in percentage terms, how much of it has already been developed? How much is, not yet?
See, our first development, which is called the Trees in Vikhroli, that's a 35-acre development, which is now fully getting developed. The last phase of Taj is now coming up there. So that phase is now fully developed, but of course, it's not even a fraction of the total potential.
What we wanted to understand is that the land belongs to Godrej and Boyce, and you are entrusted to develop it, right?
Yes.
And has there any approval or any word come in from the group to ask for developing that land? Any sort of plans out there?
See, we already have an agreement in place between the two companies to develop the land. Of course, once the land gets developable, once we have, the land approvals in place, after which we come in and start development, I think that is something we are awaiting.
Yeah.
And as soon as we get it, then we are pretty excited.
How long do you think it will take?
It's very difficult to, make an assessment on these things. But we are quite hopeful that it should come quickly.
Mohit, the reason that Mangalam and me are probing you on this is, yes, we appreciate the good project that you have put up and good facilities, etc. But the stock market must be wondering, because at one point of time there were reports that indicated that maybe the Godrej group on the whole is looking at clearing out things, maybe some bit of a split within the group. So if that happens, then how much of it would be could this agreement that you have get altered, or we just wanted your comment, or have you heard about this split in the first place?
No, there is we have a binding agreement between the two groups.
Okay.
And as a company we remain very confident on this development, and whatever is happening at the group level definitely is not something which impacts Godrej Properties as a company. So we have a binding agreement, and we look forward to developing this land. Unfortunately, the land approvals take time, and we're just patiently waiting for it.
All right, take that point, Mohit. A couple of months before you move on to move on from the company, and there will be new leadership, etc. But do you have any unfinished goals here before you move on in December? Any one last big bang announcement that you have in terms of projects or sales, etc.?
No, I think the goal is to have make sure that the transition is excellently done, and the company is on track to achieve greatness, and I'm extremely happy with the way the company leadership is now placed to take it to the next journey. So my goal is now to make sure that this transition is as smooth as possible, and company continues to grow and grow more and more bigger in the coming future.
Can we hear of any sort of festive discounts or offers, etc., before you leave?
Yeah, see, the demand is very strong. We're seeing extremely strong traction. So tactically, the sales team might do something here and there, but overall, there is no need for any kind of such kind of things to be done. If there's a good product, consumers are extremely happy to take it up.
It appears Mangalam is on the buy list. He's probing about your projects. But post-Shraddh, how has demand been? Normally you see a bit of a lull and then it comes back strongly. So last few days, you're seeing a bit of a bounce back?
Yes. The demand is, as I said, demand is very, very strong. We're seeing very strong traction across launches, across cities.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Thank you, Mohit. Thank you for joining in, giving us your views not only on the Bengaluru project, but how demand has been in the recent past as well. Wish you good luck. And that is the management of Godrej Properties. With that, we take a short break, come back on the other side. We get you more on the markets as well as individual stocks.
Well, Lupin is a little bit lower in trade after the US FDA. Well, they've got a warning letter for their Tarapur unit. Ekta joins us to run us through an impact scenario on this one. Ekta.
Thanks for that. Well, yes, definitely negative news which is coming for Lupin because their Tarapur facility has received a warning letter from the US drug regulator. To give you a background, the Tarapur plant was in fact inspected from the 22nd of March till the 4th of April and was at that point in time issued a few observations. Now, those observations obviously, did not go down well with the US FDA in terms of a response from Lupin, and hence this is now escalated to a warning letter. But it is important to basically note that this particular facility already had an official action indicated status which was issued in Jan 2020. So the US FDA had to be satisfied enough that even those observations in the past or the issues that they had in the past were successfully resolved in order for them to lift that OAI status. So yes, it hasn't gone in their favor and now it's been escalated to a warning letter. Now, however, it is important to note that remember that the Lupin record, the record in terms of the US FDA has been quite patchy and interesting. Now, I say that because, they had a Goa plant where a warning letter was issued in 2017. It was eventually lifted in December 2021. And in fact, there have been clearances in terms of products which have come through from that particular facility. The Somerset plant in New Jersey, in fact, that was quite a problem plant. It had been issued 13 observations in the recent inspection. 5 observations were repeat in nature, but despite that, it was cleared by the US FDA. So it is interesting. They do have pending issues left, and now that's added in terms of concern with the warning letter on the Tarapur facility.
Take that point, Ekta. Thanks a lot for that. So that's about Lupin. The stock down about 1.5%. With that, we wrap up on this edition of Chartbusters. Stay tuned. Trading hour comes up next.